All right, everybody. Jeet Kune on Monday, the 22nd of June. So, Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. All right. I have an ambitious kind of agenda for us today. It's also a little esoteric. But if you, as you have everybody who's here, I mean, invested your time with me over these last weeks, I really think we can get some interesting things done together today. So I want to start this session by reminding you of the definitions that I use in my practice, okay? So Jun Fan Gung Fu. Those are the seminal techniques, training progressions, combinations that you have to learn to start to develop your foundation. Jeet Kune, the process and philosophy of extracting a tailor-made combat system from the martial values that you explored in your Jun Fan. Now we get into a little bit of trouble here and there, okay? Well, are you saying Jeet Kune isn't a system? I'm saying for me in my practice, Jeet Kune is a process and a philosophy. If you wanted to look at what Bruce Lee was doing after he coined the phrase Jeet Kune at any given time and try to catalog that and train only that, then you are working on Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune. So quick little point of order here. So Sifu Tim Tackett out of Redlands, California. Old school, JKD guy. Now, a lot of people get this wrong about Sifu Tim. I have a lot of training time. I mean, not as much as I'd like, but I have a fair amount of training time with Sifu Tim. Sifu Tim did not train directly with Bruce Lee. He was in the military, and through a number of circumstances, he's actually a first-gen backyard Inosanto student. Then there was a gentleman, he's not alive anymore, unfortunately, named Bob Bremer. Bob Bremer was the gentleman at Bruce Lee's Chinatown school that nobody wanted to spar, because if you were sparring Bob, you get your ass kicked. Pardon me for the language. Okay, that's that guy, that archetypal guy that nobody wants to spar with, roll with, etc., because they're just so good that getting beat up by them, depending on your mentality, cannot be a lot of fun, or it can be. So Sifu Tim hooks up with Sifu Bob. They form the Wednesday night group. This certificate is actually from the Chinatown JKD organization, which is Sifu Mike Blesh and Sifu Steve Riesel, who are full instructors under Sifu Tim. And so this curriculum is more what Sifu Tim learned in the first generation, and then he would check that, hey, Bob, is this something Bruce would have actually done? And that's kind of his filter. And what I've always liked about Sifu Tim is he describes himself as old school Jeet Kune, because if you say original Jeet Kune, most people tend to think that that means anti-concepts or anti-Inosanto. And Sifu Tim is actually an Inosanto guy. And, but then has his path kind of formed by Bob Bremer. Okay, so JKD could be a system if you're trying to do like that group, just what Bruce Lee was doing during any given time period. In our thing, we have the seminal basics that you have to have down, and we're going to use those to tailor make a personalized system of combat from those martial arts values. So could everybody get in a lead? I don't care what lead you're in. Getting a lead. Okay. Would you please do jab, cross, hook? One more time, please. Good. Would you change leads? And would you do the same combination, please? Okay. Good. Now, whichever lead today, right now, a few minutes before 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday the 22nd, whichever lead felt more natural, would you make sure you're in that lead, please? Okay. So, jab, cross, hook. Would you do it one more time? Yeah, one or two more if you haven't already started doing it. Good. Good. Okay. So the first thing, jab, cross, would you substitute another tool in the lead for the hook? Go. Okay, good. Would you substitute, and I'm gonna take one of your variables away, and I'm sorry for the person who did this, okay? The only thing you can't do is a hammer fist. Would you do jab, cross, and then a martial arts tool that is not from Western boxing with your lead? 3-punch combination, straight lead, rear, a straight rear, and then a new martial arts tool in the lead that is not from Western boxing. Let me see, just a couple reps of that. Stay with that. Good. Okay, good. Good. Okay, let me ask you this. Go back to jab, cross, hook. What are some of the variations that you might explore just with that combination? Staying with jab, cross, hook. What are some of the things that might look different? Some of the considerations, things that you could change with that combination only. If you need to think about it, but then start expressing that. But I want you to stay with jab, cross, hook. I'm not asking you to substitute other tools. I want those 3 punches. What are some of the variations that might be present? Let me see. See what you're coming up with. Okay. Okay, time, good. Now think about this. Would you throw a super light jab and then knockout style punches for your cross and your hook? Let me see that. Like an exploratory jab. Yeah, and then you're gonna take the person out for the cross and the hook. Yeah. Good. Okay, time. Now let me see jab, cross, slight pause, hook that finishes the fight. Yeah. Time. Now make your jab the heaviest punch in that combination. Go. Your jab is the heaviest punch in that combination. Time. Now your cross is the heaviest punch in that combination. Let me see that. Good. Okay, time. Now, jab, cross hook. That's the timing. Jab, cross hook. That's the timing. Let me see that. Yeah. Beautiful. Time. Now, jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. That's the timing. Go. Time. Excellent. Okay, now listen. Same lines. This is a straight line. This is a straight line. This is a curved line. Do that combination with open-handed striking. No knuckle punches. What would that look like? Yeah. Nice. Good. Okay, time. I don't want to demo this. I want to verbalize it and watch you discover it. Vertical jab, just the shape of it is this. That's all I mean. Instead of this. This is vertical. Vertical jab, vertical cross, lead elbow with the same attributes as jab, cross, hook. Let me see that. What would that look like? Yeah. Okay, time. Relax. Fantastic. So we're going to do an exercise together. Okay, we're going to do an exercise together. I want to make sure you understand this footwork. And this group is so good. I know you will. And if anybody's just joining us, we pulled these mats up a few days ago for something that's non-martial arts related in the living room. We'll put them back on Wednesday. I'm just kind of enjoying actually being able to put my feet on my hardwood floor in my living room. So, okay. So everybody left lead. Just everybody left lead. Okay. And I'm not even, whether it's more of a tie, like your full front, or more of a baizhang, I don't care. Just left lead right now. Okay. Would you change your lead by advancing and then step back? Okay, so right lead, left lead, right lead, left lead. All right, good. Keep that kind of kinesthetically, keep that in your head. This is a really old school drill, but this is really important and really valuable, okay? So left lead, everybody left lead, okay? Now, you decide how intense you want to throw your punches in the air, and if you don't want any intensity, it's up to you. Triple jab. Right lead. Triple jab. Change your lead. Okay? Jab, cross, jab. Good. Okay, now, step in. This is going to be a little weird. Even though you're in a right lead, throw the same order of your hands as when you were in a left lead. And try to replicate the feeling that even though technically my left side is my rear side, that it's jab, cross, jab. Okay? All right. Good. Step back into a left lead. Okay. Jab, cross, lead, hook. Put the right side of your body in front. Left side still goes first. And execute that same combination. Try to let, again, kinesthetically, even though you're technically, this is my jab, try to recreate the feeling of jab, cross, lead, hook, even though that is not technically correct because of which lead is which. Go back to your left. Jab, cross, body hook. Step into a right lead, starting with your left. Jab, cross, body hook. Change, and then change back. Jab, cross, lead uppercut. That's it. Step in. Left hand goes, always going first. Jab, cross, lead uppercut. Go back. Jab, cross, lead overhand. Change your lead. Starting with the left, cross. Even though your left side of your body's not in the front, you have a kinesthetic awareness from having just done it and all your training. Okay, this is good. This family is going to be weird, but it's good. Change, go out, change back, left lead. Cross, jab, cross. Okay? Put your right side in front. Cross, jab, cross. Go back. Cross, hook, cross. So this family, good, is all starting with your right side first. Step in. Cross, hook, cross. Go back. Cross, body hook, cross. Step in. Even though you're in a right lead, cross, body hook, cross. Step back. Cross, uppercut, cross. Step into a right lead. Cross, uppercut, cross. Step back. Cross, overhand, cross. Change your lead. Right hand goes first. Cross, overhand, cross. Step back. Okay. Shh, buddy. We got class. Okay, sorry guys. And let's go cross, hammer fist, cross. Step in. Cross, hammer fist, cross. Okay, relax the body. Good. Now, that is an old Panantukan drill. There is a really rich tradition in the Philippines, and then because the Filipinos, we a lot of the times we hear 1587 as far as the Filipino people being in the United States as early as 1587. The U.S. Navy was in the Philippines 1898. 1898. At that time, the native Filipino people are doing tons of bare knuckle boxing with trapping and elbows and all sorts of things allowed. The U.S. Navy was still John L. Sullivan fisticuffs kind of a thing. And they're getting knocked out all the time because they're thinking, you know, martial athletics with rules, and the Filipinos have all this additional technology, hammer fists, elbows, guntings, you know, and so on. And so the U.S. Navy starts saying, well, you can't do that. That's dirty boxing. So Panantukan as an expression is actually tongue-in-cheek. Filipino dirty boxing, but the dirty boxing part is like wink wink, because they would kind of say to the Navy, oh, okay, all right, absolutely. And then when the Navy people would walk away, they would be like, well, what difference does it make if it's dirty, if it's knocking you guys out? But they couldn't say that out loud. Okay, so that's Panantukan, Filipino dirty boxing. Dirty within the context of Western boxing, which is martial athletics with rules. Okay, so the reason I just kind of guided you through that's an excellent old school boxing exercise to develop attributes. You go through all of your boxing combinations, and then you should do it on the other side. So right lead, right lead, and then, you know, let me start with jab, cross, jab. step into a left lead, jab, cross, jab, and so on. And what you're doing, it's that cross-wiring of the brain, it's bilateralism, it's your dominant side educating your complementary side, and it's your complementary side providing an education to your dominant side. Your dominant side has natural gifts that the complementary side will never replicate. And we all should truly, as martial artists, put our money where our mouth is and really work to bring up both sides. But the reality, most techniques, you're going to be like your favorite techniques, you're probably going to be a 9 or a 10 out of 10 on your dominant side. And all those years, you might never get past a 4 on the complementary, but we want to work on it. The complementary side teaches the dominant side things because it doesn't have the natural gifts of the dominant side. So when you start working on things on the complementary side, there's a lot of benefit for that as well. Okay, so why am I doing all this? We went through a bunch of our boxing 3 counts just now, but we started our class with jab, cross, hook. So everybody pick what lead you're most comfortable on. Pick one. I like left lead. I know a lot of original JKD. You're an embarrassment to JKD. Well, that's fine. You believe that, okay? Go do your thing. I'm comfortable here, and I know I'm not, so whatever. Okay, so just pump out a couple of reps. Jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Good. All right. And I see people playing with different modalities already. That's Jeet Kune. That's Jeet Kune. You have a system of organized techniques. You have a roadmap. You take those things and filter through them and decide what ultimately fits you best. But you can't do that without the roadblocks, or the basics, I should say, right? Without the map or the seminal basics. Otherwise, if you're just doing anything, then I agree. And rhetorically, a lot of people will go there. Are you saying that Jeet Kune Do is I can just do anything I want? No, I'm saying the opposite of that. Okay, there's only certain things that fit within the guidelines of what Bruce Lee, thought was going to be effective as far as Jun Fan basics and the martial arts values that got developed into the principles of Jeet Kune Do. Okay, so everybody get back in your lead. Just a couple things, and it's Western boxing mostly. So whatever lead you're comfortable in, it doesn't matter. Again, is this are you feinting to draw a reaction or see how they react? Or is that a probing jab that just sticks out there just to get some information? How do they, if you actually do try to lightly make contact, how do they react? How's their head movement? Is there head movement? Are they trying to catch it? Maybe you're throwing a couple in a row. Do they zone? Do they command the fighting measure? They move out of it, but they're still right there. Are they overly excited? You throw that and they're out of range. Does it happen more than once or twice? Okay. The cross. Usually I teach this once, usually around someone's first or second lesson, then I kind of gloss over this, okay? I think in the last 13, 14 weeks, I've mentioned this a couple of times. I'll be over here so you can really see my point. This, technically, is a straight right hand. This, technically, is a cross, okay? Some boxing coaches will differentiate. Straight right hand, cross. It's got to cross your center line, go across your body. or it's a straight right hand. In the very beginning, because I'm aware, I have some self-awareness of just how much I'm trying to unload in terms of learning on my students. If it's a straight punch from the rear side of your body, I'm just going to call it a cross. Okay, whether it does this or it goes here. So see, this isn't crossing my center line. This is a straight right hand. This crossed my center line. This is a cross. Okay, so just some consideration, just within that relationship. Is it power? Was it setup power? Was it light? Because I wanted to finish them with the third punch? There's so much to consider. Above and beyond the fact I'm making you do that. I mean, let's pull back from the Panantukan, the footwork drill. The beginning was jab, cross, hook. I might not have hit on your favorite tool. You might be an uppercut person, or you might be a body hook person, okay? Or you might like the illegal. I really like overhands or hammer fists, okay? And I stuck you in one combination. Then, okay, jab, cross, slap. Can everybody try that in the air? Slap on the third punch. Use the body mechanics that you're developing on your hook. Imagine that you're trying to knock the person out or rupture their eardrum with that slap. But you're not going to use your arm in the same way you're not going to swing your arm hard to try to hit a hook. It's your body. Okay? I mean, you know, the gentleman I'm about to bring up, his history is his history. Mike Tyson in his prime. Power. Bah! Super close. No wind-up. Just all of his body weight. Drop back. That's a hook. That's a successful hook. That's the way we should all strive to throw our hooks. Okay? And so that's the reason I'm saying on that slap, it's very tempting. Oh, I'm going to let my arm go wide, and it's the power of my arm swing. No. Body weight. Drop just like you develop body weight on that hook. Body weight comes back on that slap. In my youth program, I don't teach, and I don't want to take credit for this. I got this from Guru Inosanto. I don't teach hooks. I teach slaps. There is no hook and there is no body hook. Slap, body slap. Because it's just, I don't want to go into, on that particular punch, hitting with your knuckles. And I'll share this super quickly. I think I might have shared this before. In sparring, not fighting, not an amateur fight, not a smoker, not a professional fight. In sparring, at the first Kali JKD school I ever trained at, Sifu Bud Thompson School, Whittier, California. Within the span of about 3 months, and again, sparring, we put on boxing gloves, we put, you know, a mouthpiece, we're wearing a cup underneath our pants, shin guards, light sparring, light, not full contact, nowhere near it. Not at this time period. We did a lot of it coming up, but this was later, okay? I saw 2 big buff guys. Well, one was buff, one was just big. Rip their bicep tendons because they threw a hook that was all arm. It had no body behind it. And they were just trying, let me swing my arm. Me, and especially the big buff guy. Well, I got a big old bicep and a big old tricep, so my arm weighs a lot. It's got a lot of muscle. So let me just swing that through the air, unsupported, without body behind it. Ripped, tore his bicep tendon. It's really bad. It happened. And then The other guy, not big and buff, a little bit overweight. I'm not being mean. Tall guy, thick guy. The kind of guy, though, if you looked at him, you wouldn't be like, well, he looks like he has over 20% body fat, so I want to fight him. The opposite. Big guy, didn't matter if he had a six-pack. Like, this is a big, scary-looking guy. You don't want to fight this guy either. Okay, so no, maybe with the gun show, but still big arms, lots of mass, and he as well. I can just swing my arm through the air, right? And that does, Body weight, distribution, and redistribution. Okay, so we teach sometimes this, right? Like the heel and toe sway, which we've worked on before. How do you get the heel sway? Well, you do a hook. I know my hands are off frame. Okay, so just that little rotation and that training and that awareness, that's going to make all the difference. So in the kids program, again, there are no hooks. Slap, body slap. Does that mean I don't like hooks? Absolutely not. It's one of my favorite combinations is jab hook. Whether that actually scores or that's a fake, that's one of my favorite combinations in all of Western boxing. The jab that leads to the lead hook. Whether it's fake and go, light probing and go, power. That's one of my favorite combinations. Okay, so that's not a thing of like, well, I don't want to teach the hook. I love the hook. I think the hook is great. But there are punches that you've got to consider, right? I say it all the time. One of the densest collections of small breakable bones in your body. And what I'm about to say, I'm not being macho. I don't think about this all that often because I've probably broken or I've probably broken things many times over the years doing Dog Brothers. And I always, especially in my 20s, I would always just go back to class the next day. Yeah, my hand hurts a little bit. It's not. Do you think anything's broken? I don't know. It's not. I'd rather go and do my dummy and, because that was my mentality, right? And I'm like 28, 27, just young enough, and pardon me, I'm not being ageist. I'm talking about myself, just young and dumb enough at that time to be like, yeah, I did 4 Dog Brothers fights. I think I'm going to go to class. I did that on a Sunday. I'll go in and go on. So my point, my wife and I talk about this all the time. I think I've had micro fractures many, many times. Like I did legit break my foot in 2008. And I went in, it was nothing related to martial arts. It was a work accident. And the guy took an x-ray of my foot and he's like, you've had so many micro fractures in your feet that this is going to heal up really, really quickly. So the reason I'm saying that, I have the benefit of having spent a lot of time in the adrenal state, not necessarily in real fights, but in like Dog Brothers and stuff like that. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about what's going to happen if I break my hands. Because probably if I break my hands, unless it's like something crazy serious, I'm not going to know I broke my hand until the adrenaline dump is gone. So I'm trying to give you options, right? So as it may, most of you chose BUGs when I asked for open-handed, and that's really good. I don't want to start any kind of a what is and what is not JKD, but in CLOT, if you bend your fingers in like this, and if you think about a palm strike, but like I try not to bite my fingernails, I try to trim them. I still have a bit of fingernail here, not because they're overgrown. You get the palm strike, which is the focus, like the force of the palm strike, like smashing. but then you also get whether those, the tips of your fingernails get the eyes or any kind of a scratching that's like a bonus. We call that strike Hari Mao. So you could, for straights, you could always, you can always think about a Hari Mao. BUGs are great. BUGs are great. And then we also played with, like, what would that look like? That started to look a little bit more Wing Chun, but like, what would that look like if you're throwing vertical fists? Okay. Then, pardon me, the other thing, is what about the integration of elbows? What about the integration of, like, Kempo, they call it a phoenix fist. They have them in Silat Sunda Bahun. I'm just forgetting the name because I haven't been able to train with Guru Yana for many months now. But this exact same, like the Kempo, Phoenix Fist, Silat Sunda Bahun, you don't change it at all. You just there it is. Okay. That's JKD. Going through and filtering things down. These are the things that I really like. These are the things that seem natural to me. These are the things that seem to manifest themselves. That's the process of discovering your JKD. Now, most people who are, I don't have a more eloquent way of saying this right now, most people who are cool in the JKD community are cool with what I'm about to say. If you're trying to replicate exactly what Bruce Lee was working on at any given time period, yeah, you're working on Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do. If you modify it or change it or go outside of that, you're working on your own personal Jeet Kune Do. And what I can say very easily is that at this point in my practice, most of my energy is about teaching my progression in Jun Fan, which is modified, so that you can discover your own personal Jeet Kune Do. And some of the things that I do, like we learn our boxing 3 counts with the dominant side in front. I start with that. I start with all the, like, step and slide, slide, step. We look at straight lead. Okay, I'm sorry, there are some factions of JKD where it's like straight lead and step and slide, and that's all we're going to do. And if you want to do any more than that, then you're disgracing Bruce Lee. Great, if you want to think that. Go off and think that. I want to go beyond that, okay? So we do work like straight lead and some combinations off the straight lead within the curriculum, but what I teach is a modern JKD curriculum. And I have no problem saying that, gentlemen, is my primary guiding force in Jeet Kune Do. Bruce Lee passed away 5 years before I was born. I'm not trying to take anything away from Bruce Lee when I say that, okay? If I could turn something and have Bruce Lee here and Brandon Lee, absolutely I would do that. But that's not the reality. That gentleman has been my primary instructor as far as JKD. And then in the last 2 years, I've also started working with the Jun Fan Gung Fu Institute of Seattle. That's Gung Taki Kimura. Bruce Lee made 3 instructors. I'm not talking about rank, okay? James Yi, he's passed away. That's Oakland. Taki Kimura, Gung Taki, out of Seattle. Guru Inosanto. Okay, so there's 2 people still alive that were certified as instructors by Bruce Lee. So I feel very lucky working with the Jun Fan Gung Fu Institute over the last 2 years because a lot of what they do has been really validating. And when I started working with them, honestly, I was like, oh, I'm an Inosanto person, or I don't know how this is going to go. And it's a wonderful organization. I'm going to close on this. Can I borrow you, Simojin? This is going to be so easy. I'm going to close on this. I don't know if anybody saw this video. I made a video a few months back, but this is really important. and I'm going to recreate the video here. I'm going to tell you a martial arts joke, okay? It's not fall down funny, but it's really, really, really important, okay? So put your left side in front. Just stick out your jab and don't move. Okay, so this is Panantukan, what I'm doing here, everybody. I know I'm in JKD, but just bear with me. This is Panantukan. This is split entry, Sungab the eyes. Okay, so I'm freezing this moment out. Split entry, Sungab the eyes. I am going to change, I'm going to go all the way from the Philippines to China. And I'm going to change this into Wing Chun. I'm going to change this into Pak Loi Buji Da. Okay? I'm going to do that on 3. All right, we're going to go all the way from the Philippines to China, from split entry to Sungab the eyes to Pak Loi Buji Da. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you see it? Okay, again, thank you so much. It's not a fall down funny joke, but it's really important. Same technique. Split entry and Sungab the eyes. Slap on the inside and attack with the finger jab. Pak Loi Buji Da. Identical. Identical. Okay, so these days, we got to wrap up because I'm over time. These days, I am willing to put energy into what is important to me, and what is important to me is, I mean, this goes beyond the JKD community, but that we realize there's so much more interconnectivity in martial arts systems than differences. And we have the technology to recognize these similarities. We have the technology to have class with people anywhere in the world. Community building is so much more important than pointing out why. So Bryan's wrong because he's in a left lead. Like, what? Great. What did you just add to our dialogue? Versus, let's actually figure out some of these things and some of these similarities and realize what everybody has in common. All right. Tonight was a little bit more of a soapbox, philosophical kind of a class, but those are important every now and then. We'll be back at it Wednesday. I also want to let you know, more than likely, we will have a special C-Lot, still complimentary. There's no fee involved. It's still Zoom. We will more than likely have a special 2-hour C-Lot session this Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern New York City time. If you're unavailable, it will still get recorded. It will get uploaded to my YouTube channel like usual. If you're free, if it happens, which we'll have confirmation very shortly, I'll let everybody know and you can attend. It will be great. I've had a major development as far as the way that I approach C-Lot. The next statement could get me in trouble. I'll say it anyways. It's a very JKD kind of approach to C-Lot. I'm not saying a C-Lot has to be part of JKD. Okay, but I'm really excited about it and would like the opportunity to show you a little bit more if you're free. Anybody who's watching, if you'd like to actually formalize your training relationship with me and earn rank, StoopsOMALC.com, like online martial arts learning community. All right, everybody. Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. Like always, thank you for giving me your most precious non-renewable natural resource, your time. I do appreciate it. I'll see everybody on Wednesday. Oh, you have a question, Conrad?
Oh, good night. Thank you.
Good night. All right. We'll see everybody on Wednesday. Take